It's a common sentiment many of us carry around in our heads throughout the day. Perhaps it strikes our hearts late at night or after we have finally achieved something we've worked really hard at. All of this is meaningless. All of it will end. The cliche, "we're just apes rocketing through space on a watery rock," leaves us in a state of existential despair. None of this matters, so why even try? Cue several days of sleeping in, scrolling on our phones, and avoiding work. Small acts of desperate escape to bide the time until we can float peacefully into our unburdened deaths. At least, there we will be unaware of the fact that this was all a giant waste of time. For the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, he would argue that we're just halfway there. To carry this perspective, this view from above that sees the earth as a pale blue dot, or to embrace this ability to strip all things to their nakedness, is an important component to living stoically. It's important to remember that there are also many who become far too attached to people, to fame, to material things. They allow the transient and shallow to dictate their happiness. They aren't entirely able to engage in this existential insight and spend most of their lives desiring and pursuing things that will never actually leave them satisfied. However, they also don't need to be in constant awareness of the insignificance of it all. You might, after some time, actually look at them enviously, wishing that you too could lose yourself in the silly toys and drama that is spread across our world. Why is this a good thing, to be so aware? How could Marcus Aurelius, some old guy who had an amazing life as the most powerful person on the planet, possibly provide any useful perspective in the matter? This video is sponsored by Brilliant. Hey there, do you ever find yourself stuck on a problem, wishing you had the tools to crack it wide open? Well, let me tell you about something that's been an absolute game changer for me, Brilliant. Brilliant is not just another online learning platform. It's a journey towards mastering problem-solving skills while actually enjoying the process. With Brilliant, you're not just memorizing facts, you're actively engaging your brain in critical thinking exercises that build a foundation for lifelong learning. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who loves a good mental challenge, Brilliant has something for everyone. From interactive courses in math, science, and computer science to daily challenges that keep your mind sharp, Brilliant makes learning addictive. I've been really loving Brilliant's introduction to probability, which is perfect for learners of any level to start and continue learning data analysis with a fully built-out suite of new content, from Bayes' theorem to multiple linear regression. So if you're ready to unlock your full potential and become a problem-solving master, head over to Brilliant.org today. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit Brilliant.org/Sisyphus55 or click on the link in the description. You also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Aurelius was actually known as one of the best emperors, largely due to his moral integrity and self-discipline. As the historian Herodian writes, alone of the emperors, he gave proof of his learning not by mere words or knowledge of philosophical doctrines, but by his blameless character and temperate way of life. What is of interest to you, dear angsty viewer, is that Aurelius achieved such a reputation through carrying a sober perspective about life, one that involves a habitual meditation on death, the transience of things, and the insignificance of it all. From this, he argued that there were only two ideas we should be concerned with: to act justly and to love that which is allotted to us. Aurelius was concerned with three philosophical domains: the physical, the ethical, and the logical. Regarding the physical, Aurelius is mostly concerned with desire and diversions. To desire something is to deem it good and worthy of pursuing. However, as both you and Marcus Aurelius know, almost everything isn't quite as good as you expected. Desire is found to be, time and time again, a poor judge of what is good for you. And desire can even lead us into pursuing that which is bad for us. Hence, Aurelius argues that we should quench our desires as they can lead us down the wrong path. This is, in a sense, a natural extension of the understanding that we should erase impressions. The things of the world tend to leave their impressions upon us. Advertising tends to leave us with the impression that certain products will free us or make us happy. Although we cynically know that the new smartphone or shoes will not bring us enlightenment, the impressions still hold their pull, and due to our brief infatuation with things, we will likely give in. However, Aurelius suggests that we should strip such objects naked. The smartphone is merely an object of metal and lights that could distract us from that which is really important. He uses this in terms of other objects of desire, such as sex and food, which could be seen as simply the friction of flesh or the consumption of a once living cow. As he writes, erase the false impressions from your mind by constantly saying to yourself, I have it in my soul to keep out any evil, desire, or any kind of disturbance. Instead, seeing the true nature of things, I will give them only their due. Always remember this power that nature gave you. These insights that break down the significance or ethereal glow of certain objects are the same insights that the depressed and existentially discontent individual already has the power to tap into. They are able to engage in reality, and if given the right tools, they may even be able to waste less time oriented towards the things that are dead ends. This is reminiscent of depressive realism, the hypothesis proposed by Alloy and Abramson, that argues that the negative bias found in depressed individuals makes them more likely to make accurate judgments. Such a claim has been backed by studies that show depressed patients as being more accurate in causal attributions of positive and negative social events than non-depressed patients, and were also more accurate in self-ratings of their performance on a series of tasks. Of course, this really isn't an endorsement of being depressed. Rather, I think that you shouldn't get so down on yourself and life if you're able to see through the illusions. Such an insight, although initially filled with despair, should be seen as an avenue towards orienting yourself into that which you do find happiness and meaning within. To do this, one must engage with another component of Aurelius's philosophy, that one's anxiety and despair is not caused by things per se, but rather our own thoughts about such things. Things cannot touch the mind. And if you know that these things, the opinions of others, material objects, wealth, it's all insignificant, then it shouldn't really be that difficult of a task to end your despair over them. They don't matter. And now comes the task of caring for that which does matter. In terms of Aurelius, a man dedicated to seeing through the shiny false promises of fame and power, he was able to orient himself towards an idea of the good life that many would suggest he had achieved. If you set yourself to your present task along the path of true reason, with all determination, vigor, and goodwill, if you admit no distraction but keep your own divinity pure and standing strong as if you had to surrender it right now, if you grapple this to you, expecting nothing, shirking nothing, but self-content with each present action taken in accordance with nature and a heroic truthfulness in all that you say and mean, then you will lead a good life, and nobody is able to stop you.